afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a Monday novice fight. It is a 1 versus 1 on Angoville. Yes, indeed, Angoville. We shall be watching ParanormalDivision fighting for the Panzer, fighting for the 17th SS Panzergrenadier-Division Götz von Berlichingen. Opposing him shall be ZibertPaul, fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 2nd Infantry Division. We are seeing a Panzergrenadier heavy-ish start from ParanormalDivision, although a bit delay. I mean, he could have had that second squad begun, possibly even up faster, but apparently he decided not to. At the same time, we are seeing a barracks going up. Note, though, the peculiar placement of the barracks. It's not at any of the sort of edges of the base. It's right next to his headquarters. At least it's not up there, but not really good placement at all. I mean, in Cavaliers 2, such a placement could in fact pay off due to the fact that units will arrive from the edges of the map, so of course in that way great, but for Cavaliers 1, not so great. So, bit of a poor choice there by ZibertPaul, to put it mildly. We are seeing riflemen on the way, that is good. And using the Panzergrenadiers to take points. Interesting. Perhaps not the most optimal of choices, considering there are better troops to be taking points with, or for example the Kettenkrad, while we might use the Panzergrenadiers instead to attack the Americans early on and sort of really try to delay their capturing of territory. But apparently ParanormalDivision decided to just use them as troops to take territory. And of course, the thing to remember about Panzergrenadiers is they take longer to take territory than, say, regular infantry like a Volksgrenadier squad, a pioneer, or an engineer. So there's a bit of a difference there, although of course you can mitigate that with some upgrades for the Panzergrenadiers. But overall, I mean, you should not be, for example, taking high resource points with your Panzergrenadiers. That's something that's going to be taking quite some time, as you can notice, whereas riflemen, for example, take territory much faster in comparison, and of course tend to be much better for that job. And again, Panzergrenadiers tend to be much better for just shooting at the enemy, which so far is slightly happening from ParanormalDivision. At the same time, ZibertPaul is already laying down a machine gun emplacement. I do feel that is a bit of a mismove. I can, of course, understand why he might be wanting to do that. Of course, that's to protect his cutoff point. And on Angoville, we do see a lot of harassment of those, but at the same time, initially, that's quite a bit of manpower and fuel being expended on something that's not going to be moving and adding to his territory. So there's definitely some problems, and this could definitely end up biting him in the ass, in particular, of course, it also delays any further infantry for ZibertPaul and the 2nd Infantry Division. So that is something vital to remember when you do such things. And usually you'll want a machine gun placement later on in the match. You don't want them within the first few minutes if you must get them. But at the same time, going for the cutoff point, we do see a Kettenkrad moving up, pushed away from the left side. 4 squads of Panzergrenadiers Alpha ParanormalDivision, who's so far not really reacting to the harassment of the engineers. But there we go, Panzergrenadier opening up with their Kar-98Ks, a World War I sort of era weapon. I mean, it had been slightly modified overall since, I believe, the... oh, what the hell was the name of that treaty? Either way, rather said they couldn't have that quite the same rifle either ways, but still largely the same strip magazine, such just a bit shorter apparently. Still quite a powerful rifle. The Panzergrenadiers moving about, and overall the Germans didn't really modernize the rifle like some other armies did, for example, with some heavy focus on semi-automatics. It's largely because the Germans were more focused on giving MGs to their infantry. I mean, that was basically sort of how most armies approached it. Either they modernized the machine guns for the infantry, or they focused on the rifles. There was no sort of general work on both parts from either army. For example, the Americans focused on rifles, the Soviets focused on rifles, but they actually ended up still sticking with the Mosin Nagant for a large part of the war, since that was easier to produce. Whereas the British and the Germans focused, on the other hand, on machine guns, leaving the rifles a bit behind. Alright, there we go, Panzergrenadiers running straight into the MG emplacement, getting suppressed by 30 caliber fire. And we do see actually a Kampfgruppe coming up, and we're seeing a mortar half-track coming out for ParanormalDivision and the 17th SS, the mortar half-track. I mean, it was not, only common to the light infantry half-track or light half-track overall. I mean, the medium had one as well, basically that variant. Of course, the 17th SS did not themselves have any light half-tracks, if any half-tracks at all, but They did have 2 reconnaissance battalions attached to them. I do believe those were the armoured ones. And they did have the half-tracks. Those were the armoured reconnaissance battalions of the 9th and 10th SS Panzer Divisions. Probably meant to buff up the 17th SS, which was not the most experienced SS divisions at all. In fact, it was not even fully trained, nor fully equipped. Engineers coming down to find, of course, at this stage. Mr. Siebert needs to be careful, of course, of the mortar half-track. We do see a retreat right there. We do see he actually gets some of the victory points. Of course, see what he gets otherwise. But 4 squads of Panzers fighting against ZibertPaul, who's so far got about 3 squads of riflemen. Definitely need to be a bit careful. And there we go, Panzer Grenadiers getting the riflemen. Oh, the riflemen get 1 Panzer Grenadier. Interesting enough, the Panzer Grenadiers did not make a rush for the house. Instead, they allowed the riflemen to get away. In fact, allowed to fire them on the Panzer Grenadiers while they're taking a point. Not really good handling there by ParanormalDivision. We are seeing some Gewehr 43s up, but only 1 really, despite having plenty of munitions. After going to move up, and that Kevin Macleod is going to need repairs. ParanormalDivision. Territory being lost. ZibertPaul so far having an alright control of the map. BARs now. Flamethrower engines moving up against the Panzer Grenadiers, moving up. Panzer Grenadiers moving up here against the riflemen. And finally we do see the making of rush for the house. And yes, looks like they will be winning it. Panzer Grenadier 1 there went in fact on fire. Ran around a bit in circles before finally expiring in horrible, agonizing pain. Being behind only 1 Panzer Grenadier of the squadron. Right here, ParanormalDivision, of course, needs to retreat. He's, suffering a bit needless losses on several points at the moment. The mortar half-track so far not really achieving much. Although it looks like he was able to force ZibertPaul away from that, but he needs to recapture some territory. The current situation is he's actually not got a lot of territory connected. Partly due to, well, spreading out his troops a bit too far and not really engaging the opponent in force. We are seeing a Panzer command up. We're seeing armoured cars going up. That should hopefully throw back the Americans, but at the same time, the BARs can do decent damage against the armoured cars. So if they can get into heavy cover, they're definitely going to present a formidable force to ParanormalDivisions. Armored cars and the Panzer Grenadiers for that matter. But we are also seeing assault rifles going up. The Sturmgewehr 44 or Maschinenpistole 44, depending on, how you want to call it. Basically, both names are alright, although the Sturmgewehr was the sort of official name. The MP44 Maschinenpistole 44 was basically the name they were given while they were trying to hide it from the Führer, because he was convinced that a concept like an assault rifle was a bit rubbish. Panzer Grenadier pushed away. And we do see a nice positioning around here, but at the same time, of course, when there's a mortar half-track around, that's a bad choice. And there we go, the mortarist just murders, eviscerates the rifleman in an absolutely vicious manner, and heavy losses are inflicted. And we do immediately see that the mortar half-track goes up to 7 kills. That's quite impressive, though ZibertPaul is clearly not giving up after having suffered those losses. Mines going down, that is good. Armoured car finally ready. Panzers advancing, the assault rifles leading the way, that is good. And we do see the riflemen quickly pushed off the field. The amount of firepower being presented against them being overpowering, at least in their opinion. So a bit of quiet, sneaking up here and there. The armoured car patrolling on the left-hand side. Machine gun emplacement still largely untouched. No upgrades going on here, although ParanormalDivision is floating quite a bit of manpower. He needs to work on that. Panzers here might benefit from moving up to the outhouse here. They're building and flanking the riflemen. They should definitely not be engaging in this range. Panzer Grenadiers with assault rifles tend to be better at medium, short ranges, not long ranges. So now, just a thought there, but apparently ParanormalDivision all of a sudden loses a bit of focus there. I'm not entirely sure otherwise to characterize it. Second armoured car on the way. Going for the victory point, but coming under fire from riflemen. The Browning automatics push away the Panzer Grenadiers and back into cover. No support being sent in. No armoured cars, for example, to provide fire support. And overall, ParanormalDivision does not seem to be getting an awful lot out of his armoured cars. At the same time, there might be more riflemen on the way for ZibertPaul, who's, I think he's gotten 5 squads of riflemen. That's awfully excessive. And of course, the question is if Paranormal actually notices this, because if he does, a good move would be actually going for the Panzer Support Command and then going Panzer Force and absolutely punishing ZibertPaul. will then, of course, be very, very light on anti-tank defense because we'll be pouring a lot of manpower into it. These Panzers, though, need to retreat. They do get out of there reasonably well. At the same time, larger force pushing up there. Response not really appearing. Armored car being slightly pushed away by the rifleman, though. There we go. Moving out in the open. They're going to be a nice target. No, don't move the armored car. The armored car's more accurate while standing still. And that's certainly also, you know, something you have to remember. At times, you know, when to hold your ground and when to, you know, just bloody well shoot or move about. And sometimes, I mean, your units are more accurate when they're not moving about. Also, plus the vehicle. In some cases, I mean, when you can't catch them out in the open, stand still and just give them all you can. In this case, though, I mean, ZibertPaul got away from that one relatively unscathed because, again, ParanormalDivision wanted to move his armored car. So such bits are a bit vital to remember. Panzer gunners here going to reinforce. Defensive operations would be a good move. Riflemen advancing up here in a nice horde. And now, of course, the armor car probably should be pulled away. Since, again, we are talking about 6 squads of riflemen. That's 6. Well, 3 squads of riflemen of 6 men, but with 2 BARs each. That is 6 BARs. Quite a bit of firepower that can be mounted against the armor cars. And we do see these light armor cars going to get pushed away. Much firepower being directed against them by the riflemen. Panzer gunners could repair them, but again, ParanormalDivision seems to have forgotten about everything else on the map, losing a lot of map control. And overall, any advantages might be able to muster. And again, the Panzer gunners are doing nothing. Mortaring going up. Oh, we do see defensive operations up. That's about time. Incendiary round hits, but slight problem here. Mortar half-tank is suddenly getting cut off. Although we do see an assault going up there. Kettenkrad went down on the far left. Not good either. Riflemen doing what they can, getting off a sticky bomb, but more squads, I think, should have been sent in after it, instead of just retreating all of them willy-nilly, and then for some apparent reason just leaving one behind to deal with it, which would allow the mortar half-track, in fact, to survive. Which is definitely something I think shall come to haunt ZibertPaul. But Panzer gunners pushing out. Armor cars are largely getting repaired. And we are seeing infantry reduction up for ParanormalDivision. We're seeing Rangers being prepared. He could call in some and upgrade them with Thompson submachine guns, but instead he opts for a motor pool. So we'll of course see how that comes out. And for ParanormalDivision, he actually needs to get some anti-tank assets sooner or later. Currently, I mean, an armored car, for example, could do a really nasty job against ParanormalDivision because he has absolutely no anti-tank assets. The only thing he really has that might do something is the mortar half-track, and that's only if he gets lucky. Note, though, here actually mining the central cross point or roads, or bloody hell, I can't remember the name, crossroads, whatever. That's actually a good move. I mean, mining tends to pay off. And if one of the armored cars decides to move through there, I mean, that's definitely going to end up very painfully for ParanormalDivision and the 17th. There's Rifleman pushing up forward. Bit of a wave thing going on here. Advancing straight into the assault rifles and an armored car tends to be a very bad idea. As a rule of thumb, you do not want to be charging into automatics like, again, assault rifles. That tends to be a very painful experience and a bit of a pointless one as well. So that is, again, something to remember, something to note. ParanormalDivision, though, is doing an alright job in keeping his armored cars in good shape. Another Kettenkrad rolls out. Nothing else goes up. And we are seeing an anti-tank on the way for ZibertPaul. Still nothing really being done about that mortar half-track, which again is definitely something that ZibertPaul ought to be focusing down, since again that could very well cause ZibertPaul a world of hurt. Panzer is doing their best to cover it. We're trying to see an attempt at sticky bombs. And there goes assault rifles charging into the rifle engineers going down. And can't quite get off a sticky bomb. And there we go, the riflemen are taking heavy damage to the Panzer gunners. The assault rifles doing terrible damage. And where were the rest of the riflemen? Instead they were taking points. Well, there might have been a chance, you know, to deliver a decisive blow against ParanormalDivision. At the same time, we've got 2 armored cars doing nothing, you know. I mean, they're mobile vehicles. They could easily have rushed to the right-hand side and helped deal with the riflemen. ParanormalDivision, you know, needs to use his force a bit better. I mean, he's got units standing out doing nothing, and again, he's the Panzer Elite. The Panzer Elite is one of the most aggressive armies in the game. If you're not playing aggressively with it, you're playing it wrong, mate. And currently, ParanormalDivision is definitely not playing it right. Armored cars moving about. And some troops reinforcing here. Looks like something is on the way from the Panzer Air Command. Anti-tank gun moving up the 57mm. Bit of an odd number, but it was actually a British design they had copied, in fact, used, since they didn't have any gun in that sort of class, so they basically just took the 6-pounder gun from the Brits and used that. And there we go, both mines went off though, no armoured cars went out in a boom. Still very close though. Riflemen advancing up there, armoured cars, our anti-tank gun providing covering fire against enemy armoured cars, moving up there. Marder out for Paranormal Division, he knows he's got something to deal with, but again, anti-tank guns also means armoured cars, and Marders can have a bit of a problem with that in some cases if they get outmaneuvered. Bottom line engagement here, and we do see one of the armoured cars does go down to ZibertPaul, and he actually fought near one of his mines, which is something you should actually avoid. And we do see that the mortar half-tech managed to set off the mine, killing numerous riflemen right there. So nicely done by Paranormal Division. Marder moving about. The Marder 3M, or as this was known, I was feeling M, which basically means Model M. There were several models of the Marder 3, but of course also the other Marders. Overall, it was a larger series, some based on the Panzer I or Panzer II or other vehicles. The Marder 3 was based on the Panzer 38, the same as the Hetzer Jagdpanzer, equipped with a Pak 40 or in some cases a modified Russian-Soviet field gun, which actually had slightly higher caliber. It saw service with many types of units, in tank hunter Abteilungs or battalions, but of course also in infantry units, tank destroyer companies, and for panzer divisions until they were actually replaced there, for example, with Jagdpanzer 4s. 17th SS were supposed to have the Jagdpanzer 4, but they did not arrive in time for Normandy, and instead they had to make do with Marders. Another assault grenadier squad out for Paranormal Division. I've been advancing up there. T-17, that's a bit of a rarity. We're also seeing a motor pool, weapon support center going up for ZibertPaul. But the T-17, it's an alright vehicle. It's definitely not the Greyhound. But I mean, if you don't want to have to spend munitions on it, that's, I suppose it's great. But, you know, you shouldn't be using it as a tank, which again is a bit of a novice mistake. You see them, oh, it's got wheels, it's got a gun, it's got something that looks like armor. It's a tank! And then they use it as a tank rather than, say, as an armored car, which rather involves flanking and other fun business. And now we do see it coming under fire from the Marder and its Pak 40 gun. T-17 armored car needs to get away, and again, not the best usage there. Does survive. Meanwhile, though, the rifleman is simply getting exposed to a vast volley of firepower. We do see 4 squads of panzer gunners with assault rifles, plus 1 with Gewehr 43s, just unleashing hell upon the rifleman. And the Marder 3 gets off one hell of a shot as well. Rifleman here needs to get away. Everything in fact just needs to get the devil out of there. Come on, ZibertPaul, retreat! Don't let the Krauts get you. And apparently he did. Laying up sandbags there. Paranormal Division advancing with some style on the right flank. Having forced away ZibertPaul with quite some casualties. And he's getting a mortar. Interesting move, not necessarily bad, but again, considering the sort of mass infantry attacks that Paranormal Division goes for, a 30 caliber might have been a slightly more interesting move. Armored cars advancing up. T-17 will be needing some repairs and quickly being pushed into the fight, though again flanking mission might be better, perhaps trying to hunt down the mortar half-tech. We do see tank destroyer doctrine up for Paranormal Division, and we are in fact seeing the Hetzer, which did not serve in Normandy. I always thought they should have given them the Jagdpanzer IV instead. Enemy unit down. And a Panzer squad actually goes down to the mortar. Well, never mind then. Never mind then. And we do see another attempt for the mortar half-tech, but again, I do think a T-17 had that been dispatched as well, would have been the better choice, as that could easily have more kept up the pace with the mortar half-tech and knocked it out. But that's currently still not being repaired, despite, you know, having an engineer squad for it. And the other one apparently was killed. So again, you know, ZibertPaul needs to work on his unit preservation. Of course, now the rifleman going to get cut off. I mean, the retreat path is definitely in a perilous situation. We will definitely see one squad rifleman going down. Armor car goes down to the sticky bombs. That's nice. And apparently both rifleman squads make it out of there, although not necessarily in the same condition. But that could easily have gone much, much worse for ZibertPaul, but he did get one of the armor cars, and we do now see 2 Hetzer Jagdpanzers out for ParanormalDivision, adding a bit of armor to his forces, although not actually tanks. Panzergrenadier is pushing up there, opening up on the riflemen. And let us go have a look at ParanormalDivision again. Now with 2 Hetzers coming a bit under fire here and there, getting mortared. Ravn though needs to stop being out in the open while they're under fire from assault rifles. Other squad in the house, not quite achieving as much else. Mortar half-tracks finally moving up again. Will definitely do some damage to the Americans who are so far holed up. Of course, the T-17 might be able to flank in and hit them in the side. The anti-tank gun, though, needs to move up here to help. Otherwise, the Hetzers and Panzergrenadiers will force the riflemen out of the positions here by the northeastern farmsteads. Sticky bomb on the Hetzer, Marder firing as well. Damaged engine on the Hetzer, T-17 moving out. Anti-tank gun moving out. Had he had some ranges with bazookas, that might also have helped against ParanormalDivision. In particular, if he would equip them with some assault rifles and, you know, charge through the Panzer Grenadiers. Another assault grenadier squad. My goodness, he's got 5 squads of Panzer Grenadiers. One of them with Gewehr 43, the rest with Sturmgewehr. And there we go, anti-tank gun moving up. Needs to be a bit careful though, in particular again with the mortar half-attack, which whatever his name is, must be aware of, Siebert, must be aware of, is around there. And that's definitely going to be able to quite easily deal with the anti-tank and rifle here getting mortared out. Kettenkrad harassing on the left flank. That should be a job for the T-17, but it's not happening. Rifle instead sneaking up there, anti-tank and unguarded. Sticky bomb on the Hetzer, but the riflemen taking heavy and punishing casualties from the Panzer Grenadiers. Damage engine on the Hetzer, less than half health. Riflemen and Panzer fighting on the left side. Incendiary grenade against the riflemen, burning them out. But the Panzers themselves are continuing to take losses from the BARs. Heavy, accurate, fine. There we go. Grenade against the Panzers. We do see them run off, but the riflemen themselves were burned up like a barbecue. Phew. And no supplier upgrades. And never mind, no medic station. I mean, considering, let's actually go for the mid-game analysis. Considering he has 5 squads of riflemen, he must absolutely get a supplied upgrade or 2. I mean, otherwise the upkeep will simply slowly drain him out of the fight. Secondly, again, with all these riflemen, a medic station would really be a good way to sort of, you know, keep up attrition against the opponent, while of course keeping it away from yourself. But neither of these are really happening. Again, that rather means that, at least indicates that ZibertPaul is perhaps not thinking too much in the longer term, and certainly could get ground down if he's not careful. And he's in fact going to have to be very careful, considering we are talking about novices. As for ParanormalDivision, he's doing alright, but he can stand to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more coordinated. Sometimes he doesn't quite pull off things properly. But overall, he's definitely the one holding up a bit better at the moment. But he needs, you know, to keep up the pressure, keep up the mortar half-track, although at the same time keep it protected. But let's return to the fight. Hetzer getting repaired. Does not look like we have expert repairs up. That was a bit of a shame. Would be a good upgrade. No attempt at securing that point. ZibertPaul not doing much. Still not sending in that armored car to deal with clearing up things from the left flank. Not really good. Rifle advancing, and there we go. Both Hetzers open up with machine guns and main guns, causing a bit of a headache for the riflemen. And a bit of quiet. T-17 never really did see much service with the Americans. It was rather more of a prototype with them. It was actually the British which used them a lot. Lots of mines going up there by the road again. No, not quite the crossroads. Moving up there slowly. Anti-tank getting off a few good hits on the Hetzer. And there we go, actually. Advanced repairs up for ParanormalDivision, allowing him to repair his Hetzers, for example, much faster than previously. That's a good move. Incendiary rounds going off there. Burning the outhouse and cooking whatever's inside of it. I definitely would not want to be in that area once the fire clears up. We are seeing Logistic Company up for ParanormalDivision. That's interesting. And we are seeing the T-17 on a bit of a rampage against the Panzer Grenadiers on the far left. Riflemen advancing slowly but surely. And no real aggression from Paranormal Division, not even an attempt to take that point. And he's also scanning himself a bit too far. We're seeing increased squads as going up for his Panzer Grenadiers. Heads are actually moving westwards now, perhaps. Or where is it going? Where is it going, Paranormal Division? Wohin. And there we go, retaking the left victory point. Armor car not doing so much. Riflemen moving about there in the north. Some could need healing, a bit of reinforcement. Looking at you, gentlemen, by the victory point. And more on the way from the motor pool. There we go, increased squad sizes up. Engineers advancing, coming under fire though from the Hetzer. 7 kills already on that one. Not much going on the base except the Panzer Grenadiers get larger squads now, as they're being fully reinforced. And we're seeing a squad take up position in the house, but coming under fire from the Hetzer. And of course, the Viking can't really do much against it. So, I mean, he's seen what he wants to see. So perhaps he should get out before he gets mortared, or for that matter, just blasted out of the premises by the Hetzer.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
And there we go. Mortar round gets another unfortunate yank. Still no real moves, and there he goes. Ziebert finally abandons the house. Another anti-tank gun moves up. Again though, but the old unit needs to clear out the mortar half-tank, otherwise his anti-tank guns are not going to be so useful in an attacking position, since they'll just end up within range of the mortar, and they will get cleared out. By the way, note, 15 kills for the mortar half-track. Also a fun thing to note is the Americans actually also used mortar half-tracks of their own. Panzer's advancing, coming under fire from Riflemen and the anti-tank gun. In fact, note, there's not a lot covering it. And there's not, for example, say, a 30 caliber or anything, so these anti-tank guns could very easily get cleared out by Paranormal Division. We do see the Panzers tearing through the Rifleman squad, providing protection, and we could also see the mortar getting into trouble. Incendiary grenades getting lobbed at it. That was perhaps a bit of a weight of ammunition. Anti-tank gun decrewed, and the other one is definitely not in a good position either. And the crew ends up dying a horrible, nasty fate. Rifleman sneaking up behind, grenade at the Panzer guns. Will they be able to get out in time? One dead. The Rifleman need to get out of there though. At the same time, large push going in from Paranormal Division towards the center to try and push Americans away from there. Although another Rifleman squad moves up here, running straight into the Hetzer though, which has actually been heavily damaged. Rifleman though risk a lot by doing that. And in fact, they need to get the deal out there. There we go, one man dead. But we are seeing the Hetzer immobilized. Panzers continue to fight up here. Another Hetzer rolls up for Paranormal. No, wait, man, that's the same one. Oh, there's actually a third one. There we go. T-17 doing what it can, but needs to be careful. There's 2 Hetzers on it now, and they will knock it out. That T-17 does not get out. In fact, damaged engine. Not looking good, not looking good. Panzers in here, taking losses, possibly from the mortars or grenades. Oh dear, he abandoned the building, but a grenade landed straight to a gap in the wall, and the following explosion actually killed him. That's a bit unfortunate. Panzer's pushing up there against the Panzer Grenadiers. More riflemen up. We're seeing an off-map combat group providing 2 squads of riflemen and 2 anti-tank guns, but will he be able to... Oh! More Panzers going down to grenades and rifle fire. That's 2 squads gone in a very short time for Paranormal Division. He needs to keep them a bit better alive. He's down to 3 squads, although he also has 3 Hetzers. Although again, one of them also needs repairs because it's pretty much banged up. Riflemen advancing up here need to be careful, though they also need to keep moving. Incendiary rounds going down. Get out of the fire, for heaven's sake. Why must you insist on letting your men burn to crisps? I mean, that's just pointless. And in fact, he loses an entire squad right there. I mean, Ziebert needs to work on his unit preservation and his unit control. That was absolutely needless. And why he then focused on the martyr instead of trying to get the mortar half-track, which was right next to it, more or less is, you know, just a case of terrible priorities from Ziebert. I mean, the mortar's doing more to him than the martyr. Yet for some reason he decided that the martyr was the higher priority target. Again, 23 kills. Another anti-tank gun cleared out. I mean, really, Ziebert? Really? Hetzer Jagdpanzer goes out. I've controlled, getting a nice hit there. Of course, there's still the other one, but question is, will Zibert try and sneak up here on an angle and get that other hetzer? That could actually do some damage and might even slightly and slowly turn the situation towards ZibertPaul again. Armor cover repaired once more. Panzer Grenadiers moving out now in force. Heads moving up there. Other heads are firing away there. Getting repaired now. We are seeing lots of advanced repairs vehicles going up, and of course all the Panzer Grenadiers, so that heads is going to get fixed anytime soon, and there's still no response from ZibertPaul towards ending this. The mortar half-tech is moving up. That might be too late. T-17 moving up there. Could there be another sticky bomb on this heads up? Panzer Grenadiers retreating.
We are losing ground.
Ravnir coming under fire again from the heads up, but also the mortar half-track. Zibert needs to be careful. He does not want to lose more rifleman squads.
300 points.
Down to 2 men. And there we go. They do retreat as the Panzers charge out in force. Was bloody well close. Anti-tank gun reveals itself. Sadly again, did not get the heads again. That would definitely have been much to the favor of Zibert, but he did not really go for it. And we do see anti-tank guns getting cleared out again because there's nothing to really cover them. Let's have a look at ZibertPaul. Now suffering excruciatingly, losing a lot of troops needlessly. Still not a single supplier upgrade. Rifle moving in straight into all of these Panzer Grenadiers. We are seeing a grenade, but the grenade throw is actually a bit poor. I mean, usually when you're seeing someone attacking you and moving towards you, you do not throw the grenade at where they are. You throw them before them, so they will walk into the grenade. ZibertPaul does the opposite and might even lose his riflemen to the Panzers. No, suppressive fire does push them away. T-17 moving up, Panzers pulling away. They could actually try and recruit that anti-tank gun, but oh well. Riflemen charging straight into the assault rifles. Again, you don't do that. And he just lost another rifleman squad senselessly. ZibertPaul really needs to work on unit preservation again, not charging into gentlemen with assault rifles. And ParanormalDivision needs to get away from the T-17 with his Panzer Grenadiers, who cannot damage or at least move up the bleeding marder. I mean, really. You've got your frontline units up there, but you've got your support units far removed from the things they're supposed to support. Dummkopf. And we do see a rifleman squad sneaking up. They're trying to go for the mortar, but again, I mean, it's just too little. Just way too little from ZibertPaul. And his riflemen are just getting murdered. Not really encouraging. Sticky bomb. Though we do see the heads actually manage to force them away. And there we go. The mortar half-tech is immobilized, but that's likely going to be fixed soon. Minor fighting over here. Rifleman versus Panzers each time to take the point. But the Panzers do have the advantage of the hetzer. Finding a way in support of the Panzer Grenadiers. Getting a Panzer Grenadier in the process quite nicely. And now the hetzer has rolled up now for ParanormalDivision. So that is pretty much a opportunity lost here from ZibertPaul, trying to try and whittle out some of ParanormalDivision's numbers and really deliver some crushing blows again. He's missed several chances of getting the mortar half-track, and that's one that's largely hunting him the most, but also getting, for example, a veteran hetzer, which is actually quite nicely mobilized for a quick move in with the anti-tank and then get the bloody hell out of there. I mean, there's just so many opportunities missed from ZibertPaul, largely again due to poor unit preservation, but also just a poor understanding of, you know, how to attack, how to be aggressive, and how to just get the job done. Never mind, his strategy is a bit, well, I mean, it needs something a bit more mobile now. He needs tank destroyers, for example. That would help, but again, it's not happening, nor is he getting really the most out of his anti-tank guns. I mean, they're so awkwardly placed and behind buildings, so I mean, they'd not really be able to hit anything anyways, and again, they could just easily be countered with a mortar half-track. And again, the mortar half-track is his primary problem, but there's no real solid attempt at knocking it out. So he's not really doing himself any favors. The T-17 though is still there, and we actually see veterans on. We do see the hetzers moving up, and there's no anti-tank guns to keep them at bay. T-17 though managed to escape most of it. Grenade goes off on the Panzer Grenadiers. Mortar round gets another, but the riflemen themselves are taking punishing casualties. They're taking heavy fire from the hetzers and the riflemen. Another rifle squad moves up, getting a bit too awfully close, getting mauled by the MG and the hetzer main gun. Mortar round gets another Panzer Grenadier squad. Nicely done there. Damage engine, recruiting the anti-tank gun. These riflemen need to get out of there. The situation is quite desperate. Point it the other way, damn it. And these riflemen need to get out of this. See, but why are you moving in, riflemen? You just used to recruit something with low health. And he just wasted a veteran rifleman squad for no good reason. And he even handed Paranormal Division one hell of a gift. 2 Browning automatic rifles. I mean, really? Is Siebert even trying anymore? I mean, he just lost a lot of units pointlessly, and he's got himself a second mortar. And it's not really the sort of match where he needs more mortars. He needs something to deal with the mortar half-track and the hetzers. And by Jove, mortars will not help you with that. So, I mean, that's just pointless from Siebert. Hetzer's getting repaired. Panzer Grenadiers on the move. Assaulting the mortar right there. Again, not entirely sure why he insists on incendiary grenades after the mortar crew, which can just move away and of course retreat, and likely will as soon as the enemy appears. Hetzer's advancing on the right flank. BARs have yet to be picked up by any, although looks like some engineers picked up one, although they might soon have their lives ended in a brutal manner. But ZibertPaul and the 2nd Infantry Division have definitely been pushed back now by Paranormal Division of the 17th SS Division. Looks like he's advancing up here. Mortar needs to get out of there. In fact, it's a veterans who won one, so not really helpful. And there we go. Mortar is gone. From advancing straight at the hetzer. That's definitely not going to end up well. Because the assault rifles supporting the hetzer. Damaged engine now on the hetzer. Rifle continuing to take losses. And another man down. We do see an off-map combat group riding actually a tank destroyer for ZibertPaul, but he's advancing it straight at the hetzer, allowing the hetzer to get a few good shots at the tank destroyer, and in fact getting it stuck on the front of the hetzer. Really? We do see it getting stunned, but really that was not the most useful way to apply the tank destroyer. I mean, usually you want to hit the sides, not the front. Panzer is still getting a bit blasted by this T-17, but it needs to get out of there before the hetzer gets out, and we're seeing another unit down. In fact, we are down to 2 rifleman squads for ZibertPaul. He's just bleeding men now. And a manner that is definitely not helpful to the United States and the campaign for Normandy. Marder not really achieving much. Points continues to go down for ZibertPaul. Hellcat and T-17 repair. And another rifleman squad out for Siebert.
Listen up, Rangers. Say something.
Get us out of here. Unit ready.
Panzer Grenadiers advancing up, going in for the anti-tank. And incendiary grenade going off against the gun. Engineers with BAR. Six kills on the Yak Panther. Definitely nice. Rifleman moving up. Again, straight into the Panzer Grenadiers, although rushing into the house. That's just going to make them easy target for incendiary. Why did he throw it there? And then going to incendiary grenade connects with the house, sets it on fire. And just look at all those Panzers firing there, and the burning rifleman mortar rounds going down on the Panzers. There we go, another mortar round, and the riflemen get wiped out again. It just keeps on happening. 20 points left for Siebert. Speeding this up a bit. doubt he's going to be able to pull off a amazing recovery. Another Ranger squad rather than pushed away, and GG. And game over. Paranormal Division was able to secure a victory. Overall, the threat was never vastly overpowering, although there were certainly some times where it might have looked a bit grim, particularly in the beginning, due to the fact that initially Paranormal Division had a bit of a hard time, using his panzers, probably allowing Zibert too much time to actually get a force build up that could actually push him back. I mean, had Paranormal Division been a bit more aggressive with his panzer gun it is, instead of having them trying to take high resource points, he might have fared a bit better. Usually you leave that stuff for Kettenkrans or Schwimmwagens, whatever you've chosen. For ZibertPaul, I mean, there were a ton of mistakes. I mean, practically a litany could be made out of the mistakes he made. I mean, we had the machine gun emplacement right there by the strategic point within the first few minutes of the game. We have the barracks being placed not at the edge, but deep within the space again. We are not playing Company Heroes 2 yet. Other bits was largely his usage of the T-17 was more of a tank rather than an armoured car. Anti-tank guns placed too far away, although, I mean, Paranormal Division also had several times his support units too far removed to actually support his infantry. Overall, though, Paranormal Division could have been more aggressive, more bold, yet that never quite happened. But good uses of the hetzers against his opponent. Less good uses from Zibert on his anti-tank guns, and the one Hellcat he actually managed. And the question was if he shouldn't have not stopped, even bothered with the weapon supports, and then jerk out himself a tank depot with some tank destroyers, possibly a Sherman. He might have fared a bit better overall as well. And again, there were so many missed chances in getting that mortar half-track, and the mortar half-track pretty much turned out to be the bane of Zibert this match. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own, or provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.